Hi everyone, this is Hannah from 10 Minute Tennis. Today we're going to be looking at a video from Mamet Aglin on Reddit. Thank you so much for sending through your footage. We did a written breakdown of your game, which you can read in the description below. Please do so if you haven't already. But today we're going to look at a few improvements that we suggested on Reddit, and we're going to give you some drills and some progressions to try to help you level up your game. Let's go. The three things we're going to work on today are 1. Spacing and use of left arm on the forehand. Number 2. Getting down low on the backhand side, especially when the ball comes deep. And number 3 will be some intensity in our footwork, especially when we're split stepping. So a lot of club players will not use their non-hitting arm on their forehand. They'll either keep it by their side the whole time, or they'll point it to the side and drop it before the swing actually initiates, which means everything comes solely from the hitting arm. There's no use of the shoulders, there's no use of the core, and the kinetic chain is broken. So we're going to show you now a few drills and progressions that you can do either by yourself or with a partner or a coach to help you improve on this part of your game. So let's have our assistant coach Joe come in and show you the first progression. For the first progression, Joe is going to drop feed himself, making sure that he keeps his left arm extended for as long as possible. He initiates the swing by sweeping across his body using his non-hitting arm, and then his right arm comes through to contact and follows through. Try to stay balanced here at the end of the swing. You can see how Joe's weight is not falling over to the side here once he's finished the swing. For this next progression, you're going to need a partner or a coach to hand feed you a ball to your forehand side. You're going to extend your left arm to catch the ball where you want to contact it, and then do exactly what you were doing in the first progression, using your left arm to sweep across your body and initiate the unit turn and the swing to contact. Notice how balanced Joe still is as he reaches his follow through. Depending on the quality of the feed, you might have to move your feet a little bit here, and you might drop the ball sometimes, which is absolutely fine. For this third progression, you're going to do exactly the same thing, except now Joe isn't going to catch the ball. He's just going to say catch when he would catch it. But he's going to keep his swing continuous. Notice how Joe is still keeping his left arm perfectly straight before he uses it to sweep across his body and initiate the swing. Don't worry if the ball doesn't come perfectly off your racket here. It's all about keeping your left arm extended out for as long as possible. For this fourth and final progression, we're going to put all the pieces together. We've moved Joe back to the baseline, and now I'm going to feed him about half to 3/4 of the way across the baseline towards his forehand side, and then he's going to recover back to the centre tee each time. So this is the most advanced progression, which is where your technique may start to break down. So you may start dropping the arm too early, as Joe demonstrated there. You may sweep it across your body too late, or you may sweep it across too early. So really be cognizant of what your left arm is doing. Keep it extended. Joe's was a little bit bent there, so he needs to push out further. That's much better. This is a little bit of cardio exercise as well as working on our technique, because we're adding in this recovery at the end. Keep stretching out that arm, Joe. Beautiful. So those are a few things to help you on the forehand side. We're now going to have a look at the backhand side. A shot that a lot of people struggle with, whether they have a single-hander or a two-handed backhand, is when the ball comes deep to that side. We've got to get lower, we've got to use our legs for this shot. So let's have a go at some drills and some progressions to help you work on that at home.
So a lot of players are far too upright on their ground strokes, particularly the backhand. So here we're going to work on getting down nice and low to the ground. You can see here Hannah's got her legs bent and she's really trying to stay nice and low all the way through the swing. This is going to be a thigh burner, so don't worry, just do this for as long as you can manage. You can see as Hannah's swinging, she's transitioning away from the back leg through to the front leg. If you watch the back foot, that will come up, plant and come up again. So the second progression we've got here is a dummy feed, where Hannah's deliberately missing the fed ball and she's just using it as a timing crutch to get used to swinging at the right time. Again, she's staying nice and low all the way through the shot and then pushing back up nice and strong to recover. Okay guys, third progression. Now I'm going to feed the ball to Hannah at the baseline. She's going to get nice and low, really focus on the timing of the shot and just dink it back to me nice and gently. It's important to remember that what we're working on here is the deep backhand. If I drop the feet short in the court, there's no benefit here. So it's fine to go slightly beyond the baseline if you need to make sure we're really working Hannah and focusing on that deep backhand. Alright, so for the fourth progression here, we're going to feed Hannah a ball to the baseline and she's going to stay getting down low, but now she's trying to hit it back over the net. It's important to make sure you're staying nice and low all the way throughout the shot to really practice the deep backhand.
Okay, so we've worked on our forehand and we've worked on our deep backhand. The last thing we're going to look at today is our footwork, especially our split step. Split step is a really important thing to do as our opponent is hitting the ball, so we should be at the peak of our split step and then we're ready to push off either way to hit either a forehand or a backhand. So Joe's going to show you a couple of drills that you can do at home to work on your footwork. So the first drill that we're going to do with our footwork is just very simple, very controlled. Joe is going to move by his own choice to either forehand or backhand side, shadow swing the shot, and then recover and do quite an exaggerated split step. It's really important while we're practicing to exaggerate anything that's new, because when we start hitting or playing points, we inevitably revert to type. So a little progression here to make it a little bit more dynamic would be to have a partner or coach then shout out either forehand or backhand, and Joe's got to move to that side, shadow swing the shot, and recover back with a split step. Forehand. Forehand. Backhand. 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 See Joe getting down nice and low there. Forehand. So the main thing here is to keep working on your footwork in your split step. But we can also do what we've already practiced today, such as using that left arm and getting down nice and low on the backhand side. Okay, so the final footwork drill that we're going to do today is the X drill. You're likely to have seen this from other coaches or perhaps done it as well. But we're going to start with some shadow swings. So Joe is doing these in order. He's now at his deep backhand. He's going to come back to the baseline split step, short forehand, split step, back to deep forehand. Notice how Joe's using some nice crossover steps as well to get into position for the shots, as well as split stepping back on the baseline after each one. So once we've done that with no ball, we're going to add in a ball. But we're going to still do it in order. So we'll start in a moment once Joe has finished this round with a short forehand, and then a deep forehand, short backhand, deep backhand. So Joe's challenge is going to be to keep the lovely technique that he's shown in the shadow swings. So let's have a go. Recover, split step, deep forehand, recover. Very nice. deep backhand. Notice how Joe is maintaining his balance throughout these swings. So let's do one more round where he knows where the ball's going. Whoa, sorry Joe, my feeds. Crossover step back, keeps the balance on the recovery. So Joe did a great job there, even when my feeding was somewhat suspect. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to mix it up, we're going to randomise it. So this is where it becomes really dynamic, much more like an actual tennis match. So Joe is going to really have to make sure that he's split stepping and recovering after each shot, otherwise he's going to be off balance. So let's go. So when you're doing this with a partner, make sure you give them time to do their split step. We want this to be fast, we want this to be dynamic, but we don't want it to rush people too much to the point where their technique breaks down. Do 3 more balls here, keep Joe on his toes. And now we'll give Joe a breather. Okay, so to quickly recap everything we've done today, we started on our forehand side. As right-handers, we want to stretch out our left arm, keep it extended as we prepare to hit the shot, so make sure we don't disengage our shoulders and our core. Try not to let our arm get too bent, that way we get a little bit too tucked up and we can't accelerate the racket, and also try not to let it drop too early or too late. So try to get that timing, you'll figure that out yourself the more that you practice this. Next we moved on to our backhand side. We worked on getting down nice and low using our legs, keeping our head still at the contact point. Try not to be too upright with this, and also if we move our head too much, we're liable to shank the ball and lose control. So really trying to work on keeping that head still through the contact point. And lastly, we worked on our footwork and our split step. So there are tons of footwork drills out there for you to do. Just make sure that you maintain intensity throughout it, so it's a little bit more realistic for a match, and we get that split step exaggerated. Any changes to your game need to be exaggerated because they will inevitably revert to type as you go along. Thanks everyone for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and you got some useful hints and tips for your game. Thanks again to Mama Aglin on Reddit. We really appreciate you putting yourself out there. It's not easy to do that and allow yourself to be judged, so thanks a lot.
If you've got any questions, any feedback, drop a message in the comment section below, hit us up on Reddit, send us an email, smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, let us know that you like what we're doing. If you want to be the next player featured on 10 Minute Tennis, again, send us a message on Reddit with a link to your video, or send us an email, 10minutetennis@gmail.com. Email address is in the description as well. Thanks again for watching, guys.
We look forward to seeing you next time.
Take care.